All right, so now what we're going to do to this is we're going to get this logo cut around the curvature of the body. Or the bottle, sorry. So if we twist this up in 3D a little bit, we see the bottle here. We see the circular part of the logo sticking out of the front of the bottle. I want that circular part of the logo to be 0.03 larger than this diameter. Now, that is actually going to be, since we're doing the diameter, for the radius is going to be 0.015 larger on each side, but that's okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to add 0.03 onto this number. If you've done this one correctly, this number should read 2.8. If yours reads some other number than 0.28 or 2.8, you're going to have to add 0.03 onto it. If you can't figure it out, use the calculator. Pull up the calculator, do math, and see what you can figure out. But make this happen. So for me, since mine does read 2.8, I'm going to use a cylinder. No. I'm going to use a cylinder. And that no is for somebody else in my class who is a CAD 3 student that does not follow directions. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to use the cylinder command. Now notice I have my Z pointing out the front, but if I have my dynamic UCS on it, I want you to just get a little bit of practice with this. If I hover over top of this top surface, remember how that turns that blue, highlights it blue, and now this is recognized as my new Z, that surface. If I come over here to the edge, recognizes the center point, so I can click on the center and make my cylinder there on that top surface. Now, if I do this quickly and come up here and just do this and draw my cylinder, oh, my cylinder's on that surface. I got to be a little bit careful. I got to actually hover. See now, if I don't have that blue showing up, I click there. Oh, my cylinder's there. So it does take a little bit of practice, but that's kind of the purpose of this, is giving you using this and actually utilizing it without making it happen. If you can't make it work at all for whatever reason, then you're just going to have to go up to here, change your view to the top view, and then draw it from the top, and your cylinder will be correct. But I hope you can make this work. All right, so now with this, again, back to this. We're going to go D for diameter. We're going to make it 0.03 larger than this. So we're going to make it 2.83 for mine. Yours may be a different number than that. You have to determine that. There that cylinder is, a little bit larger. I'm going to pull it down and through. The only real thing it has to do is come through this cylinder. So I'm just going to pull it down to here. Sure. That looks great. So now, I want to curve this cylinder off at that angle or that arc. To do that, you're just going to use the intersect command. If you don't remember intersect, it's there underneath your 3D tools. You have union, which puts them together. Subtract does what it says, subtract. Intersection, you keep where both objects overlap. So we're going to go IN for intersection. I'm going to pick this cylinder and my other cylinder, those two cylinders, hit enter, and notice how that thing now sticks out of the bottle 0.03 inches. We're going to change that to white, and we have a nice little white logo on our bottle. Now, if we were doing this, say in a program called Illustrator or a program called Photoshop, you could wrap the actual image, the picture, around your bottle. You could find a picture of a Pepsi logo, you could wrap that around the bottle, and it'd be there. But our only problem is we don't just want a picture of it on there. We want to be able to, if we're going to 3D print this, we want to be able to 3D print it, and a 3D printer will not print a picture. It prints solids. So this has to be a solid. It has to be a different thickness, or it won't appear. So we have to make things offset at a different distance and make them out of solids to make this work. All right. So now, let's move on. Our next little tidbit is this. We're going to go ahead and do the exact same steps for the other two pieces. So I'm going to go copy again. I want to copy this portion of it, that top red portion of the logo. I'm going to copy it from the end up there on my bottle, the top of the bottle. And I'm going to copy it down to the center of the bottle there. Now, again, the reason we did this is look how nice and perfectly placed that has that logo right there on the bottle. Once again, we're going to chop this off. But this one, however, if we make it the same, 0.03 larger than this, it's going to be the exact same surface as this logo. When you union this all together as one solid, it'll disappear because it's going to be at the exact same surface. We want it to stick out another 0.03 further than this white object. So again, for me, I'm going to come up here to the top, cylinder, draw my cylinder on that top surface. I'm going to make it 2.8 plus 0.03 plus 0.03 or plus 0.06, 2.86 for mine. Again, your number may be different than mine. Whoops, and I forgot to hit D for diameter. So we go back and we try that again. Cylinder on that top surface. D for diameter, 2.86. Pull that cylinder down and through the object. Do an intersection of those two. And there that is, sticking out the 0.03 inches. We're going to change that one to red. And you're going to rinse and repeat and do the exact same step for the blue portion of the logo. So you're going to go copy, pick your blue portion, copy it from that top of the bottle down to the center of the top surface of the bottle. Again, that puts that exactly into place. We're going to go cylinder. There, D for diameter, 2.86 once again. Pull this down and through and do an intersection of those two objects. Again, that has it sticking out, that 0.15 inches. We're going to change that one to blue. Twist this around to the front, and now we have a good looking Pepsi logo there. We could, makes it look a little bit better if you put this on a realistic view, and there we have a pretty good looking logo with a pink bottle. We're going to go back to conceptual because it works a little bit better for some things we're going to do for now. All right, next, what we're going to do. You have to be on a straight on plane for this. So we're going to go back to our front plane and the word Pepsi. We're going to put the word Pepsi in there. First, I'm going to just do it over here to the side. So I'm going to go DT for D text for my single line text. I'm going to pick my start point here. Height. Oh, I'm just going to try to make it about the size of the other. I'm going to kind of just try to eyeball it. Yeah, about there. Now it says rotation angle. Do I want my text to go to the right? No, I want my text to go straight up. So I'm going to go straight up and just click going straight up. Now what I want my thing to say, I want it to say Pepsi with no capitalization. P-E-P-S-I. There it is. Now I'm going to move this text into place on my bottle. And I'm going to make my word Pepsi the appropriate size. Mine's a little bit large, so I'm going to scale. I'm going to pick it right about here. And get it right there. It doesn't have to be, and it won't be perfect. The one on the bottle is setting a little bit of a curvature. That's really pretty darn close. I'm totally fine with that. Okay. So now, once again, don't want to work with it up here on the bottle. I want to copy it down. So I'm going to copy my word Pepsi from the top of the bottle. I'm just going to copy it down to this other bottle right there. Okay. So now with this, if I go to extrude, because I want this to be a solid, go to extrude the text. Oh, what object remove? Cannot extrude an object of this type. It will not extrude text. You cannot extrude text. So what we got to do is we got to modify this text so it's no longer text, but it's recognized as lines. To do that, you come up here above to where it says Express Tools. Click on Express Tools. Come over here to Modify Text in this section right here. Click on that option, and we're going to go with the first option, which is Explode. So we're going to explode the text. Click on it and hit Enter. Flips it around back and forth. And now notice it's made up of a polyline segment there. It is polyline segments, and we are going to modify this just a little bit more. So I want you to go ahead and explode those polyline segments again. Be careful, do not explode the cylinder there. Explode the polyline segments again. And what this will do, I'll now break it into individual lines. Okay, with our individual lines, if you look at the word Pepsi on the bottle, the original one, and it's kind of hard to tell there with that in place, so I'm going to move this out of place for a second. There's no little leg on the top of the P. It just curves around. We want to make it look a little bit more accurate, so we're going to do that to this one. I've looked before and tried to find an appropriate text that's a little bit better. I really never did find one. So all we're going to do is we're going to come down here maybe adjust this one out just a little bit like that, possibly add a line in, maybe like that. And maybe we can make this a little bit more accurate. Polar is giving me heck, so I'm going to turn polar off. And maybe right about there. That really doesn't look too bad. It's going to be zoomed out so far. It really isn't that important. Now here, we want to trim this up to make this something that's going to region correctly. So I'm going to erase out my inside lines on this. And that's going to region really nicely. So there we go. That P looks just mighty fine. That's going to be great. You'd want both of the P's to match exactly. So here's a little trick that I'm going to do. So I can find this corner of the P. I'm going to draw a line out here to the side like this. All that does is it shows me where that corner of that letter P is. Now I'm going to go ahead and erase the letter P. Oh no, my P is gone. But I have this other P down here that's done. So I'm just going to copy this letter P from that corner to the end of that little layout line I just put in there. And look how nicely we're going to erase out that layout line. Look how nicely that's done. Both of my P's are done. It's good. All right. We're going to continue erasing out my extra lines. So there on the E, erase the inside of that E there and there and there. On the S, we're going to erase out the line there and there. And there you've got your word Pepsi looking nice. I'm going to go ahead and region that. R-E-G for region. Region the word Pepsi. And we got that. Now the only little bit of problem we have with this is obviously the inside of the O's are there. And if you just erase it out, oh, then my O's in there solid. We don't want to do that. But you can subtract from the region and subtract out the center of the O, subtract from the P, or I said O, center of the P, and subtract that out. And there you go. Oops, looks like I have to do it to my E also, obviously. And there you go. Now I got my word Pepsi there, looking really nice. We're going to go ahead and extrude the word Pepsi. And we want to stick it out there plenty far, so I'm just going to go what I know is enough, which is 2.5. All right, so that's beautiful. We need to get it in place on the bottle now. So we're going to go copy. Oops, I want to make sure I copy it all, though, so we're going to get it with the window. I'm going to copy from that into the bottle. Again, to the center of the bottle like we've been doing. Make sure center point shows up. And there we go. Now, the only little bit of problem I have with this is we could have done it with the logo before, but I really wasn't that worried about the logo. But with the word Pepsi, it really doesn't look good. See how that's coming out of there? It's coming straight out of that front side. We really need to rotate that so it's not at that weird angle. So to do this, we got to do a couple previous steps before we do it. Right now, if I go to the top view, all these Pepsi bottles line up on top of each other. It's really hard to see which one I'm working with. So I can't do it that way. What I've got to do is go back to the front view, move the one I'm working with, which is this one, move it straight to the side. By moving it straight over here to the side, now when I go to the top view, I can tell, this is the one bottle I'm working with. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use rotate. I'm going to go RO for rotate. I'm going to pick all these things with a crossing. So that's all the parts of the word Pepsi. I'm going to rotate it from a point right here. Now if I click right here, my O snap is going to lock me into the center of that. So I want to turn O snap off. And then I'm going to pick this point right here on the edge of the bottle, where the circle of the bottle starts, and the center of the word Pepsi. And I'm just going to spin this. I'm going to spin it to where it's coming perpendicular out of the bottle. So right about to there. So if you were to eyeball this, this part lines up to the center of the bottle. And that's great. So let's look and see what we got here. All right, we got our word Pepsi sticking out there like that. That looks pretty nice. What color is our word Pepsi in? Oh, our Pepsi is in white. So we need to do that. We need to make it white. The actual Pepsi bottle itself, oh, it's kind of a brown color there. Well, not the part that this is on, though. This part actually happens to be a blue part. So let's just make the whole bottle blue for now. We'll change part of it here later, and I'll show you how to do that. So make that part of the bottle blue. Perfect. And now we're ready to take this text out. There's a couple different ways we can do this text. I want to do it to where the text actually sticks into the bottle. But we're about done with our 15 minutes of video, so that's going to be video number 4. So there you go. Video 3 is done.